Parsha 101, Parshas Nitzavim. A little bit of a shorter Torah portion this week, and also Nitzavim is always read the week before Rosh Hashanah. It's frequently paired with another Torah portion by eilecha, both shorter Torah portions, depending on the year and how the cycle needs to be completed. But the name for this week's Torah portion comes from the first verse, Atem b'tzem hayom kulchem, all of you are standing here today. And just going back to the paired Torah portions, Nitzavim we see means standing. Vayelech comes from the word of going, of walking. And part of the pairing of these two Torah portions is because as part of this farewell address of Moshe, right before the Jewish people are entering the land, there is going to be a reestablishing of the covenant between Hashem and the Jewish people. So Nitzavim focuses a little bit more on Hashem's part of it, Hashem's role in it, and that's seen in this word Nitzavim, which is standing. It's a state of constancy, firmness, always being. Versus Vayelech, which is a little bit more the Jewish people side of thing. Vayelech is a word of going, which because the road, the path of self-refinement is constant and infinite. So just a little note on that. Now, the opening address, the opening words is, you are all standing here today, the leaders of the tribes, the elders, the law enforcers, every man and child and woman and convert, and down to the woodcutters and the water drawers. Everybody is here today because now we are permanently establishing this covenant that you are going to be God's people. God is going to be your God. And this is going to be established with all of you who are here today, and even those who are not here today. This covenant is eternal that is being established. And it's going to be absolute for all the generations that you will be his chosen people. Now, then it continues. You've seen, especially in your travels, and you'll see the idols of the other nations. And someone among you right now might bless himself in his heart, saying that, oh, if I go astray, I won't be punished for it. But no, and remember that God will rain down all the curses that have been spoken upon. This person who tries to stray after other gods, God's going to obliterate his name from under the heavens. Others will see the destruction that God will rain down, and they're going to say, why is this? Why was this done? And they'll answer the question. They'll say, because the covenant was broken. So of course this is being said to urge them to keep the covenant. Remember that God is your God. You are his people. Then it says there's a general idea that we're all accountable for each other's actions and words, in the sense that there are things that are revealed and there are things that are hidden. This is something that Moshe said. The things that are hidden, these are things that are for God, meaning specifically or metaphorically. What are things that are hidden? These are people's thoughts. We don't know what goes on within someone's mind, within their hearts. This is for God to know, and this is for God to deal with. However, when it's speaking about actions and words, there is a sense of a collective responsibility for the morality of the nation in actions that everybody is responsible for. Then it goes on to say that when you're going to see all that we've spoken of, all the blessings and the curses, when they will befall you, you're going to take it to heart and you're going to return to God if you have strayed. God will have mercy on you. He's going to gather you from among all the nations. Even if you've been scattered all the way to the ends of the heavens, God will bring you from there. He's going to bring you back to the land. He's going to make you even more numerous, and the work of your hands will be super abundant, and all the curses are going to be placed on your enemies. So kind of projecting the cycle of what's to come. Then Moshe continues, urging them and reminding them that this commandment that you have to study the Torah, to safeguard the commandments, to always be learning and knowing how to do and be connected and united with God, this is not something that's very far from you. It's not in the heavens that you're going to say, who's going to go to the heavens to bring it down for us? It's not across the sea that you're going to say, who's going to go there to get it from us? Rather, very famous verse, so this thing is very near to you in your mouth and in your heart to do it. And side note, this is actually a foundational verse of the Tanya, which was written by the Alter Rebbe of Chabad Chassidic, that specifically Judaism, Torah, mitzvah, spirituality, connection with God, uniting with God, it's not across the sea, it's not up in the heavens, but rather something that's very close and accessible to all of us as soon and as long as we apply ourselves to it. We have what it takes to make it happen. And then Moshe wraps up this address, this week's Torah portion wraps up with Moshe speaking for God, saying, I've placed before you today the life and good, death and evil. Of course, connecting the two with each other, that goodness and life are attached to each other, are connected, and death and evil are attached. And he says, love God and walk in his ways. You do so, you'll live long in the land, you'll increase, you're going to be blessed in the land. Even at times when the results and the path of goodness is not always clearly seen, you should always have you should still always choose what is right and what is good. And just something that is kind of in commentary sense pointed out about death and evil is that death just means the lack of life. Evil, however, is worse than death in the sense that it's direct opposition to good. That's what evil is. So Moshe also warns to the Jewish people, if you stray, you're not going to last long in the land, etc. Also, I am calling today, heaven and earth are going to be our witnesses. Heaven and earth are constant, and commentary-wise, take note of this. Heaven and earth, their constancy is not just that they last, but also they're doing their job. The heaven's doing the orbits, the sun, the moon, the stars, they're all doing what they're supposed to be doing, constant and unchanging. The land does what it's supposed to do. You plant and it bears, and growth and all these things, and there's no specific reward in it for them. God's not like, if you're gonna grow apples, you're gonna get a great reward to the tree. He doesn't say it to them, and yet they do what they're supposed to be doing. And you, of course, you'll be rewarded for what you've done. So even greater incentive to do what you're supposed to be doing. And Moshe tells them, choose life, love, obey, attach yourself to God. God is your life. And that is the end of this week's Torah portion.